Hello students, today we will discuss another type of method by which we can calculate the resultant stress of the this pre-stressed members. So that particular method I am going to discuss is the pressure line or thrust line and internal resisting couple method. At any given section of a pre-stressed concrete beam, the combined effect of pre-stressing force and the external applied load will result in a distribution of concrete stresses that can be restored or that can be resolved into a single force. Means, let's say if we are considering a normal RCC section itself, when I am applying a load externally, there will be internal stresses resulting. They will be resulting, means they will be generated internally for the external stresses or external forces that are applied. So in combination with this, I can write that means what are the external forces that are being applied and what will be the internal forces that are being developed. So if it is in the equilibrium, I can say that internal stresses and external stresses are same. But what happens at particular plane or at a particular point, when no external forces are being applied, there will be internal forces. That is, in case of RCC, the internal stresses are developed, that is because of the self weight. So because of the self weight, what happens, there will be forces that are been acting on the supports. So for the supports, there will be reactions. So we will be getting the reaction from the support because of the stresses or the forces that are being induced because of the self weight itself. So similarly here also in the pre-stressed members, as an external forces are being applied, there will be internal resisting forces developed. So here internal forces development is mainly due to the application of pre-stressing force. And when this pre-stressing force is being applied, the beam will having an internal stress, that is the axial force, or due to which it is going to bend or it is going to hog. And when an external load are being applied, that will try to sag and it may come to its original shape. So the locus of such points of application of this resultant forces, means let's say external force is applied which is of 20 kilonewton and induced internal force is, let's say it is 30, then 30 minus 20, that is the internal force, that is the resultant internal force. Means 20 kilonewton is the external force applied and internally produced force is, let's say 30 kilonewton, then 30 minus 20, then 20 kilonewton, 10 kilonewton is the resultant force that is there as a resultant, which is internally developed because of the pre-stressing. So the locus of such points of application of this resultant force in any section is termed as the pressure or the thrust line. This is the definition of the method or the pressure or the thrust line. Means it is a locus of the points. Locus means the set of points that are being available or that are being located. So if I join all these points, that means that is going to form a line or a curve. So that is a locus. Locus of a points of application of such resultant forces at any section is called as pressure line or the thrust line. The concept of pressure line is very useful in understanding the load carrying mechanism of the pre-stressed concrete sections. Means here, if we know very well about this concept, that is the internal resisting couple method or this pressure line or the thrust line method. So here what happens, what is the external load applied and what will be the internal resisting moment generated or the stressor generated, that we are going to understand it in a very well manner. So in the case of pre-stressed concrete members, the location of pressure line depends upon the magnitude and direction of the forces that are applied. Means here in case of pressure, this pre-stressed concrete member, the location of the pressure line depends on the magnitude and location of the movements applied at the cross sections and the magnitude and distribution of the stress due to the pre-stressing force. Means when I try to pre-stress the member, there will be generation of these movements, internal movements are being generated on. This is depends upon the amount as well as the location of the pressure that is been induced. So these are going to locate us where will be the pressure line. The sentence meaning is here that this pressure line location where the pressure line is, how its profile is, it all depends upon the cross section of that particular beam as well as the profile of the cable as well as magnitude of the distribution of the stresses. What kind of forces are being applied? Means if I am having a let's say tendon, a straight tendon, then its location is different. If I am having a tendon of parabolic shape, then its location is different, as well as actual location also depends on the magnitude of the distribution of the stresses also. So here I have shown a figure which I will explain here. So consider a concrete beam shown below here. Here P is the pre-stressing force which is been acting on this particular section, and it is acting at an eccentricity E. The beam supports an uniform distributed load, which includes the self weight of the member. So it is Q here. Q per meter, that is the total load, uniformly distributed load that is applied to the member, which includes the self weight, which is carrying or which is having a density of Q. Intensity is here Q per unit length. So I am applying the load externally and the tendon is being placed here at an eccentricity E. So this distance, let's say it is h by 6 from the centroidal point of the section. And let here consider L is the length of the member. So for this member, what kind of profile we will get, or the pressure line we will get, or the thrust line we will obtain, we will see now. So if I want to calculate what is the kind of stress it is being developed and with respect to which I can draw the pressure line or the thrust line is depends on the below diagrams, that is the stress distribution figures. So here I have drawn three cases. First case here is about at the support. What is the stress developed or where will be the thrust, that is the resultant force or the resultant stress that is developed or the thrust that is developed in the member. So let's consider it at a support section. So if P is the force, pre-stressing force applied at an eccentricity E, then the thrust will be at a same point at this support section. If I consider the same member with a application of same pressure or the same force P, which is having an eccentricity again E equal to h by 6. So for the central span, if I want to know where will be the thrust, that is the resultant, then it will be acting at the other side of the centroidal point. So here you can observe below the CG I am applying the pre-stressing force, but where this thrust is applied or it is generated, it is above the CG, but it is at the same distance. It is h by 6 E here, h by 6, and the distance from the CG to the thrust, it is again h by 6. It means that it is a formation of the couple here. So hence it is called as couple, internal resisting couple. And if I consider at a quarter span, means if I divide the section into 4 parts, so first section, if I want to calculate or if I want to know where the thrust will be, then it will be half of the midsection. Means what is the value at the midsection? It is h by 6. So it's half, means it is h by 6 divided by 2. It will be h by 12. So when I am applying a pre-stressing force at an eccentricity E equal to h by 6, then thrust will be applied, or it is generated at a distance h by 12, that is half of the thrust that is applied at the center span, that is h by 12 from the CG point of the member. So these three figures or the diagrams shows you the distribution of the stresses at the various sections along the span. It is at a support, let's say it may be at the quarter span, or it may be central span of the section. So going into the deep about studying about this, what is the fibers stresses at the top and at the bottom, we will study now. So at the support section, since there are no flexural stresses, we have seen that the thrust as well as the force are acting at the same point. It is at the support. So since there are no flexural stresses resulting from the external loads, the pressure line coincides with that of the CG of the steel. Means we are going to compare here the presence or the CG of the steel. Let's say I have placed the cable at a distance E from the CG of the member, means at a constant eccentricity. So from that place, what will be the distance at which this pressure line or thrust line are available? So here, if the section considered is support, then there will not be any difference. The both CG line as well as the external loading line will be coinciding. So with that, the CG of the steel, means where I am going to apply the force, it is exactly at the CG of the steel. So this will be coinciding with the pressure line located at an eccentricity h by 6, or it is E. At the central span, what we have seen, it is acting at a distance h by 6 above the CG line. So at the central span of the section, the external loading is such that resultant stresses developed is maximum at the top fibers. We can see that in the analysis part, that at the central span, the moment generated or the stresses generated will be maximum at the central span, and that is at the top fibers, and zero at the bottom fibers, because it is in the hogging condition, and hogging condition is there, as well as there will be an external forces. So development of these resultant stresses will be maximum at the top fibers, and they will be zero at the bottom fibers. And it can easily be seen that for such sections, the pressure line has shifted towards the top fibers by an amount equal to h by 3. Means total it is h by 6 from the CG of that particular point. So from the initial point, it is at a distance of h by 3. Similarly, if I consider it at a quarter span, what will be the case? So when I am considering here at the quarter span, again the considered span is very small. It is 1/4 of the total span. So when we are considering the smaller span, there will be smaller magnitude of the stresses developed. So shift in the pressure line is also correspondingly smaller. So in the section near to the support, it is almost zero. So thrust line as well as the pressure line, thrust line or the pressure line will coincide with the external force applied. But in case of midsection, it will be maximum. The difference or the distance is maximum there. And in between these two, that will be the place of quarter span. So here, as the distance is smaller, again the distance from the CG to this pressure line, again it gets smaller. So this can be seen here in the figure shown below. So E is the eccentricity which we have seen. So it is from the CG of the member to the CG of the cables. So cable, they are placed as a single, they are the straight tendons placed, and they are at a distance E. Constant distance is maintained throughout. It is E, which is equal to h by 6. So we can observe here at the support section both are coinciding here, and at a mid span there is a distance of h by 6 from the CG point, and it is at the top towards the top fibers. And similarly, if I consider it at an quarter span, this distance is half of the h by 6, means it is h by 12. So this is at the quarter span, h by 6 is at the mid span, and at the support it will be 0, as the both are coinciding each other. So the pressure or the thrust line coincides, that can also be used to evaluate the stresses. Means there will be formation of the couple, and by which we can calculate the stresses also. So in this method, generally it is called as internal resisting couple method, because we have an external force P and internal resisting force, that is a thrust. So here, with respect to this, we can call this method as internal resisting method, or C-line method, or it can also be called as pressure beam, or it can also be called as pressure line method. The pre-stressed beam is analyzed as a plain concrete elastic beam using the basic principles of statics. Means considering the horizontal forces, summation of horizontal forces equal to 0, and moment about a point is equal to 0. That is they are the principles of statics. It is in the basics. That is the concepts of engineering mechanics. So we are using these equations. They are the equilibrium equations, where we are considering horizontal summation of horizontal forces equal to 0, and summation of moment about a point is equal to 0. So from the figure which I am going to show here, from that we can state the conditions. That figure shown below shows the free body diagram of a segment. I am going to consider here a small segment of a beam without and with the transverse loads respectively. When the gravity loads are 0, what will be the condition of C and T line, that is cable line and the thrust line? What happens there? They will be coinciding, because there is no external forces and there is no movement in the particular section also. Under the transverse load, when a particular point, if I am applying the load, then what happens? There will be shifting of these lines, that is C line as well as the pressure line. So this C line or the pressure line, or let's say thrust line, they will be shifting from their original place to the certain distance because of the external loads that are being applied. So what happens? There will be a formation of the moment. So let's consider here M as the bending moment at that particular section due to the dead load as well as live load. Means they are the externally applied loads. So due to these externally applied loads, there will be movement generated, because they are the loads applied at a particular section, and there is an eccentricity in the tendon. So there will be movement generated here. Okay, here in the figure you can observe, I have considered this section here particularly. So this is at a support section, and this line is the CG line of the member. This is CG of the member, and this is the line of the cable, CG of the cable. CG of the cable means where the steel lines or the steel wires or the cables are being placed, that is the CG of the cables. And same thing here also. So here what happens? Movement is equal to 0, because there is no external forces. So at that particular point, what happens? The thrust line will be equal to the pressure line, or else we can say that this thrust line is equal to pressure line, or else it is equal to the C line, that is C line here. When the external force are being applied, they are the external force, UDL is being applied to the member, then what happens? This C or the T, that is thrust, it is going to vary from the place, from this place at a particular distance. So E is the distance which is being measured here from the CG of the member to the place where the force is being applied. So here P and T both are coinciding, but particularly in the section where the external forces are being applied, what happens here? T is the thrust line, means it is the internal stress that is being developed. But what happening here, because of the external force and internal force is being induced into the member. So it is acting at a distance E dash from the CG line. So E dash and E. So summation, that is sum of E plus E dash, that is here the lever arm A. So two forces are acting and these two forces are opposite in nature. Means it is acting here towards the member, and T or this P pressure is acting away from the member. So what happening here, it is a formation of the couple with a distance A, that is the lever arm. So I can say here T into A, or it is C into A, or it may be P into A, that is equal to movement. So when I write this movement here, I have written for the equilibrium condition. When I want to calculate movement, then it is force into distance. So here I may consider the force as pressure. So it is P, it is a force, pre-stressing force. So it is P into A equal to movement, or it may be C into A, or it may be T into A. Whatever it is available, we can consider that. So now I want to calculate what is this distance A. So A is the distance which is called as lever arm, which is equal to movement divided by P, that is the pre-stressing force applied. So when we have to calculate this, the distance, what is the distance between the force that is being generated, or the shift of the line, that is pressure line or the thrust line from the CG of the member, that can be calculated as shown here. So here that is E dash, which we want to calculate. E is the eccentricity, which we know already, and A is the lever arm. So M by P, that is the lever arm A, which we know, minus E, that is the eccentricity. By this we can calculate the shift of this pressure line or the thrust line. So students, usually this kind of problems, or the problems related to the calculation of this pressure line or the location of the pressure line or the thrust line, will be there for your examination. So go through this theoretical part, as well as we are going to solve the 2-3 problems on this particular part. Now, to calculate resultant stress with the E dash, so I'm going to calculate the shift first. What is the shift, amount of shift that takes place from the CG of the member to the line, that is the location of the pressure line or the thrust line. So after that, I want to calculate the resultant stress. So instead of considering the eccentricity, I can use this distance E dash, and I can calculate the resultant stresses at the top as well as the bottom fibers. So here is the way how we are going to calculate. F SUP means it is the top fibers, superior fibers. Stress, F stands for the stress. Stress at the top fibers is equal to P by A. The notifications are same here. F stands for stress. SUP, it is for the top fibers. FINF means it is for the bottom fibers. P is the force, pre-stressing force. A is the cross section of the member. E dash, only the change here is E dash. Instead of using E, that is the eccentricity, we are using here E dash. So P into E dash divided by ZT. ZT, again it is section modulus. So for the top fiber stress calculation, we are using ZT. For the bottom fiber stress calculation, we will be using ZB. So for the calculation of stress at the top fibers, it is P by A plus P E dash divided by ZT. So one thing what we need to look into this expressions here is that When we are considering the value of E or this bending stress calculation, what we are using in the earlier cases is that I will write here, it is F is the, let's say FT, I will write here as the top fibers is equal to, it is P divided by A, that is direct stress due to the pre-stress, and here it is written plus. But actually what happens, earlier case, that is the stress calculation, direct calculation, it is first method is stress calculation, in which we have used the equation here as directly P by A minus, it is PE by ZT. Why it is minus here? I am writing here minus because let's say here I'm to know about this more, I will draw the stress distribution diagrams. So this is related to P by A. It is completely under the compression. So I am writing this as positive. But due to the eccentricity, what happens? It goes to a sagging, hugging condition. Means at the top fibers, it is in the tension, means negative, and at the bottom fibers it is under the compression, so it is positive. So I was writing here as the negative in the earlier cases, but in the present case, again I will draw the stress distribution diagram here once again. Okay, it is not for the external forces, remember this, it is not for the external forces, it is for the this eccentricity. This stress diagram is for the eccentricity and this is for the direct stress. So these two are the bending, this is the bending stress and this is the direct stress with respect to the pre-stress force that is been applied. So this is P by A and here it is P E divided by Z. So here it is ZT, it is for the top fibers. So for the top fibers it is negative. So I used to write in the equation as negative. But in this particular method, this internal resisting couple method or the thrust line method, let's say, or it may be pressure line method, I'm going to write here as plus because I am using here E dash. What is E dash? E dash is the distance measured from the CG of the member to the place where the resultant stress is being generated or it is been applied or it has been obtained. So here it is now positive and similarly for the bottom fibers it will be negative. So please remember, for the stress calculations, resultant stress calculation with the direct method, we are using here negative and here it is positive. But in this method, that is pressure line or the thrust line method, we will be changing the sign conventions because it is, instead of E, I am using E dash. So top fibers it is plus PE dash by ZT, or the bottom fibers it is minus PE dash by ZB. Now I have given the notations again here, what is ZT and ZB. ZT and ZB are the section moduli of the member at the top as well as the bottom fibers respectively. So the concept of pressure line and the internal resisting couple method of analyzing the stress in pre-stressed concrete members are obtained by following examples. So we'll now solve example and then we'll understand the things in a better way. So here is an example. A pre-stressed concrete beam with a rectangular section 120 mm wide. It is the cross section here. It is 120 mm wide and 300 mm deep. It supports a uniformly distributed load of 4 kilonewton per meter, which includes the self weight also. So cross section is 120 mm by 300 mm and it carries a 4 kilonewton per meter external force including the self weight, and effective span of the beam is 6 meters. The beam is concentrically pre-stressed by a cable carrying pre-stressing force of 180 kilonewton. Concentrically pre-stressed means eccentricity is 0 and pre-stressing force is 180 kilonewton. So what is required to do here is to locate the position of the pressure line in the beam. So we'll solve this. So pre-stressing force, it is given 180 kilonewton. Eccentricity is 0 because it is concentrically pre-stressed, and area of cross section 120 into 300, it is 36 into 10 to the power 3 mm square, and I will be calculating ZT and ZB. So here ZT and ZB both will be same because it is the cables are concentrically placed and it is a regular section. It is symmetrical section. So further calculations, next step is to go for the calculation of bending moment and stresses. So now we will calculate the bending moment. Bending moment at the center span, we know that is WL square by 8. So W external force, it is 4 into 6 is the span. WL square by 8, it is 18 kilonewton meter. So now we will calculate the stresses. First one, direct stress, it is P by A. 180 kilonewton divided by 36 into 10 to the power 3. So this and this get cancels. It is 5 Newton per mm square. So similarly, I will calculate M by Z. So M moment it is been obtained 18. So 18 kilo. So it is 10 to the power 3. Again it is meter. So again it is 10 to the power 3 divided by Z. Z is 18 into 10 to the power 5. So we will be having bending stress for the external force. External load, it is 10 Newton per mm square. And now we will start calculating the resultant stresses. So at the top, what will be the resultant stress? It is here E is 0. So there is no calculations related to PE by Z because E is 0. So top fiber stresses will be plus, I have taken here. So we are going to calculate the stress. So it is 5 plus 10 as I said. We are going to use here plus because the external force acting, it induces compression at the top, and at the bottom it is minus. So 5 plus 10, it is 15 total compression, and at the bottom fibers it is 5 minus 10, so minus 5 it will be, and it is tension. If N is the resultant stress in the section and E is the corresponding eccentricity, then what will be the shift of the pressure line? So that we want to calculate. So here we don't know the value of E, that is the shift we want to calculate, and N is the resultant stress, resultant thrust that we want to calculate here. So that will be N by A plus NE by Z equal to 15. So considering this top fibers, I am going to calculate the values. So N by A plus NE by Z is equal to 15. So I need to calculate this E. So N is equal to 180 kilonewton. That is the force that is being given in the problem, and the area of cross section, it is 36 into 10 to the power 3 mm square. And by solving this simple equation, we will be obtaining the value of E. So now the value of E will be, by on solving this, we obtain the value of E as 100. So what this 100 is? This means that here this 100 means the pressure line will be at 100 mm away from the CG line. So in the figure also you can see here, I have shown the figure. This is the pre-stressing force applied here, and this is the CG line, dotted line which I have shown here. This is the CG line, and this red color line is the pressure line whose position or the location we need to calculate. So by solving this, on solving, you obtained here as E equal to 100, which means I am already written this stress diagrams also here. So 5 plus 10, it is 15. Here it is 5 minus 10, it is minus 5. So it is negative tensile here. And what is this T indicates or the N indicates? That is the thrust. So that we have used here as the force which is being given, and we have calculated what is the shift of this thrust line from the CG point. So that we have obtained here as E equal to 100 mm, means here it is E dash. So this E dash is 100 mm, so which is being shown in this particular figure here. So students, go through this. I think we will solve some more problems related to this particular method.